corresponding to the 36th question. For the following data, draw a less than J curve and hence find the median of the distribution. The distribution given is 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, 40 to 50, 50 to 60 and 60 to 70. And the number of persons given are 5, 15, 20, 25, 15, 11 and 9. Now let us calculate the cumulative frequency. It's 5, 5 plus 15, 20, 20 plus 20, 40, 40 plus 25, 65, 65 plus 15, 80, 80 plus 11, 91, 91 plus 9, 100. So the coordinates are now going to be for the less than Ujjayi curve are 10, 5, 20, 20, 30, 40, 40, 65, 50, 80, 60, 91 and 70, 11. Now let us draw the less than Ujjayi curve by having the age in the x-axis and number of persons in the y-axis and plot the points. We get a graph like this. Now to find the median, we have the cumulative frequency is 100. The total or sigma f is now going to be 100. So 100 by 2 is 50. Now we'll have to look into the 50 on the y-axis. For the corresponding value of 50, what do you get on the x-axis? That is now going to be the median. We get that to be 30.25. Hence, the median of this data is, using the Ujjayi curve, we have found out to be 30.25. The OR question states, the distribution given below shows the number of wickets taken by the bowlers in one-day cricket matches. Find the mean and the median of the number of wickets taken. So, the number of wickets taken is given as 20 to 60, 60 to 100, 100 to 140, 140 to 180, 180 to 220 and 220 to 260. The corresponding frequencies are, now before that let us calculate x. X is nothing but the upper limit plus lower limit divided by 2, that gives you 40, 80, 120, 160, 180 and 240. Okay, the frequencies given are let us take this as class interval. We have calculated x. The frequency given is, that is, let us take it as Fi, that is 7, 5, 16, 12, 2 and 3. Now let us take the assumed mean to be 160. So now di is equal to, let us take the next column as di. Di is equal to x minus assumed mean. Assumed mean is 160, 40 minus 160, which is nothing but 40 minus 160 is nothing but minus 120. 80 minus 160 is minus 80. 120 minus 60 is minus 40. 160 minus 160 is 0. 180 minus 160 is minus 20. And 240 minus 160 is minus 80. Sorry, the mid value of, or the value of x for the class interval 180 200 is 220 is 200. So 160, 200 minus 160 gives you 40. So it is now going to be minus 160, 40 minus 160 is minus 120, 80 minus 160 is minus 80, 120 minus 160 is minus 40, 160 minus 160 is 0, 200 minus 160 is 40, and 240 minus 80 is 240 minus 160 is 80. Now they all have a common factor of 40. So let us now divide by the common term 40. Ui is x minus a by h, where h is the common factor, that is 40. The class interval, the class limit you can say, that is now going to be 40. So that gives me minus 3, 120 minus 120 divided by 40 gives you minus 3, minus 2, minus 1, 0, 1 and 2. Now let us find out the next column, Fi Ui. Fi Ui, that is the frequency into Ui, that gives you minus 21, minus 10, minus 16, 0, 2 and 6. Now we know x bar is equal to a plus, where a stands for the assumed b, plus sigma Fi Ui by sigma Fi. Now substituting the values, that gives you 160 plus, now when you add Fi Ui, that gives minus 39. So minus 39 divided by sigma Fi, when I add that, that gives you 45. So divided by 45 into the class sizes h, which is equal to 40. So that gives you 160 plus minus 39 by 45 into 40, which is equal to 125.4. Hence, the mean value is, arithmetic mean is 125.4. Next, we need to calculate the median. Same way, let us take the class interval 20 to 60, 60 to 100, 100 to 140, 140 to 180, 180 to 220 and 220 to 260. The frequencies given are 7, 5, 16, 12, 2 and 3. When I add everything, I get 45. Now the cumulative frequency is 7. 7 plus 5 is 12. 12 plus 16 is 28. 28 plus 12 is 40. 40 plus 2 is 42. 42 plus 3 is 45. Now we can see that 45 by 2 is approximately 45 by 2 is 22.5. 22.5, we can see that it lies, so we can, that is, we can take the nearest value as 28, the greater value, which is greater than 22.5 is 28. So we can take 100 to 140 as the median class. Now we know the formula, median is equal to L plus n by 2 minus CF, or I can put this, divided by the median, the frequency, times the class size, which is equal to h. Now L is equal to 100, n by 2 is equal to 45 by 2, f0 is equal to, that is the frequency of the preceding class is now going to be 12. f0 is 12. F is 16. So in this place, instead of cumulative frequency, let me put it as f0. So that gives you the frequency of the preceding class. So f is equal to 16 and h is equal to 40. Now substituting the values, we get 100, the lower median class is 100 plus 45 by 2 minus 12 divided by 16 times 40. Or this gives the value to be 100 plus 26.25, which is equal to 126.25. Hence, the median of this given data is 126.25. Now look into the 37th problem. A statue 1.6 meters tall stands on the top of a pedestal from a point on the ground. The angle of elevation of the top of the statue is 60 degrees, and from the same point the angle of elevation of the top of the pedestal is 45 degrees. Find the height of the pedestal. So let us draw the diagram. Let us take this as the statue on the pedestal, which is 1.6 meters tall, and we don't know the height of the statue is 1.6 meters tall, and this is now, let me mark it as A, B, C. So BC is now going to be the pedestal. We don't know the height of the pedestal. Let us take it as H. Now he says the angle of elevation of the top of the statue is 60 degrees. So from this particular point, it is now going to be 60 degrees. And from that same point, the angle of elevation of the top of the pedestal is 45. So this is 45, he says. So let me mark this point as D. Now, from this figure, we have tan 45 degrees is equal to, let me mark this point CD as X. So H by X. But tan 45 is equal to 1. So therefore, H by X is equal to 1, or this implies H is equal to X. Next is tan of 60 degrees is equal to 1.6 plus H divided by X, which is equal to root 3, because we know tan 60 is root 3. But X is equal to H. So in the place of X, I'll replace it by H. So 1.6 plus H by H is equal to root 3, or this implies 1.6 plus H is equal to H root 3, or H root 3 minus H is equal to 1.6, or H, I'll take H as a common factor, I'll get it as root 3 minus 1 is equal to 1.6, or H is equal to 1.6 by root 3 minus 1. Multiply and divide by its conjugate, root 3 plus 1 by root 3 plus 1, that gives you 1.6 into root 3 plus 1 divided by 2, which is equal to 0.8 times, we know root 3 value is 1.73, 1.73 plus 1, which is equal to 0.8 times 2.73, which is equal to 2.1. Now coming to the 38th problem, obtain other zeros with a polynomial whose p of x is given by 2x to the power of 4 minus x cubed minus 11x squared plus 5x plus 5. If the two of the zeros are root 5 and minus root 5. So the quadratic equation goes, let us take q of x is equal to x squared minus sum of the roots root 5 minus root 5 into x plus product of the roots root 5 into root 5. So that gives you x squared plus 5. Now let us divide this equation by, let us divide p of x divided by q of x. So that gives you 2x power 4 minus x cubed plus 12x squared plus 11x squared plus 11x squared minus 11x squared. So it's minus 11x squared. So it is 2x power 4 minus x cubed minus 11x squared plus 5x plus 1 divided by q of x squared, which is equal to x squared plus 5. So x squared, so first let us multiply it by 2x squared, so that gives you 2x squared into x squared will give you 2x power 4 plus 5 2s are 10x squared plus 10x squared. So let us subtract. So this gets cancelled. So you will be getting it as minus x cubed minus 11 minus 10 will give you minus 21x squared plus 5x. So next we'll have to multiply by minus x. So that gives you minus x cubed minus 5x. So now let us change the symbols. So this gets cancelled. Minus 21x squared. So this also gets cancelled. Plus 5. So that gives you, let me put it as minus 21. So